أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وسلم السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and salutations upon the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the whole ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah, as we know, tonight is the blessed night of Shabir. So we'll be talking a little bit about this and how we can benefit from this blessed night and what is the guidance given by the Mashaykhs in regarding this night as well. So the night will start inshallah after Maghrib tonight. Many months are passing by, many days are flying by. This world is like a wind and the people are like drifting leaf. So wherever the wind blows, so we are like the leaf. So if the wind blows this way, we go this way. If it blows the other way, we go the other way. So it passes through many phases. So we are like the leaf, which will go through many phases when you're in this world, until it stops on a certain object. Then it will stop somewhere along the way where he likes something or he desires for something and certain thing. What will happen is he'll stop there and he'll carry on doing that thing. This obstruction of enjoyment or desire, so it can be anything, whether it can be having a relation with the opposite gender, it can be drugs, it can be laziness, it can be anything. So this obstruction of enjoyment, desire, is the day of judgment where nothing shall move without the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what it means is that, for example, this enjoyment, that desire that we have, when the day of judgment will come, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, here we have control because of the freedom of choice that we have. But on that day, on the day of judgment, nobody will have control apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So nothing shall move without the command of Allah. And all shall be accounted with every phase of action recorded. So everything that the person has done, it'll be recorded. So the thing is, the Mashayikhs have mentioned many times that when your iman becomes weak, or when you think, you can't do certain thing, you should always remember death. Death will always bring you back. So what death will do, the remembrance of death will bring you back to your original state, to what you were before. For example, if you know that you're going to die, say in the next 24 hours, then everything that you're doing in regards to the worldly benefits or anything that's taking you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will cut everything off. Because you know that all important thing, if you had 24 hours to live, is reconnecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the problem with us is that we forget this. We forget that we are going to die. We forget that we will leave this world, leave our family, leave our work, leave our businesses, everything behind. We just think that we're living at the moment, meaning we're living and we're planning for our future. we're planning, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the plan for us as well. We might just drop dead any minute or in a few hours. So always have the mindset that, your first thing, your first priority is for the hereafter. Your first priority is that if I was to die today, would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be happy with me to what I have done up to now? Would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be happy with me? Have I committed any sins that I've not repented for? So that's the mindset that the person should be. So every day he should wake up in the morning and he should think, okay, what can I do today to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy? So his first priority should be everything to do with his closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he should revolve his day according to that. For example, he wakes up in the morning and his day should be, okay, I've got to do my course, so which is whatever sheet I'm on, I've got to refresh it in the morning so you know that throughout the day this is what you will be doing. Read it up. If you're not sure, then read it up in your book or whatever. And then it's in your mind fresh now. Every morning you've got it fresh. Not that you read something 10 days ago and then you're trying to focus. So that thing should be on your mind constantly throughout the day. Okay, I've got sincerity sheet, I've got humbleness sheet, I've got this sins of the mind I've got to protect throughout the day. So this should be in your mind all the time. So this is your first priority. Then the second, a schedule for your amals to make sure that you can get your amals in. So you look throughout the day, okay, the first priority is my amals. Before anything else is my amals. Before my work, before anything. That's the first priority that should be. After you've done everything, for example, throughout the day, obviously you're monitoring yourself, and then you've done your amals. Then throughout the day, you're free to do whatever you want. Obviously there's the prayers that you pray throughout the day and stuff like this, but then you're free to do whatever you want. So you should always think until, how you pray your 5 times namaz, that until you prayed your namaz, you don't feel any peace. After you prayed it, you feel peace. And when people pray Isha, then they can relax a lot more than if they have Isha on their mind. For example, if you went throughout the day, if you went somewhere and then you came back, and you still have Isha to pray, then you feel really tired and you feel, oh no, I still have to pray Isha. But this is how your amals should be. You shouldn't think, oh, you're putting amals towards the end of the night where you're really tired, and then you falling asleep doing it, and then you do a little bit of it and then you fall asleep. And that just shows that you're not giving preference to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, you're giving preference to everything else. And then you're giving preference to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the night when you're really tired. So that's not the way it should be. It should be first Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the worldly things around that. You know what I mean? That's how it should be. So this is what we must learn, in regards to this. So the wind scatters the people in different ways. The leaf passes through high and low until it reaches the ground of sorrow, death. To saying the wind scatters people in different ways, like we mentioned, and the leaves passes through high and low. So some iman will become high and iman will become low. So we mentioned about when iman becomes low, we start remembering death as much as possible. Even go to the graveyard on your own. Don't take anybody with you. Reflect. Go at a time where people don't normally go to the graveyard, in the morning maybe, or throughout the day. So fix a time for yourself and go, and then remember death. And it reaches the ground of sorrow, death. And this is, it really works. First we got to have this faith, yaqeen, the faith in what the Mashaykh say, faith in what the Prophet ﷺ says. But death really does work. If you reflect on it truly, it does work. I know, people who go through this, phase where the iman has gone weak, and what they do. A friend of mine, he used to sit in the graveyard. He had a lot of problems on his head, but every time he sat in the graveyard on his own, he felt really relaxed and at peace. After he left the graveyard, then he knew that all his problems, it might be no matter how much his problems are, but he knows one day these problems are not going to come with him in his grave. The only problems that's going to come with him in his grave is if he's made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy or not in this world. So the leaf passes through high and low until it reaches the ground of sorrow of death. The emotions are affected by the wind of this world, but many seekers are strong and withstand the winds of the dunya. So it's, the Mashaykh mentioning that people get affected. For example, if a person goes through a little bit of problems, then his amal goes down, his zikr goes down because of the worldly problems that he has. It affects him. Say, for example, he's having problems with his wife, his children, and suddenly his amals are going and stuff like this. But what the Mashaykhs are saying, that the other seekers who are so strong that they can withstand the winds of the dunya. So anything that the dunya throws at them, they can handle it. It doesn't affect them because they made their priority Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because they know that, at the end of the day, we're going to have to leave everything anyway. So what's the point worrying about it, And if you know that Allah is the one who is the giver of rizq, and our job is just to try, that's it. And it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gives the rizq. So as long as you've done your bit, then just relax. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes on you success, then that's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's not up to you. Success is not from you. Your job is just to try. Success is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these seekers they are like the mountains of strength. They stand strong and built to withstand any wind, but their hearts remain soft inside to observe the remembrance of Sunnah. So they're like mountains. Mountains, no matter if the wind comes, rain comes, snow comes, storm comes, they just stay there, isn't it? So these seekers are like this, that they like mountains and nothing moves them from their goal, which is the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But inside, for example, outwardly they might be strong, this, that, the other, and nothing can withstand. But their hearts are soft, and they remember and absorbed in the remembrance of Sunnah. So they follow Sunnah as much as possible. Their hearts follow the wind of the prophetic call. They travel to places where He sallallahu alaihi wasallam goes. They are the prophetic followers in every way. They are the seekers of success, which brings the Prophet ﷺ's happiness. So they want to follow the life of the Prophet ﷺ. They try to follow the inward and the outward character of Rasulullah ﷺ in every way possible. And these are the people who are the people who are successful people, and the ones who bring happiness to the Prophet ﷺ. So these are the people who, no matter what happens to them, they'll stay strong, steadfast, and they'll follow the Sunnah, and they'll call people towards the Sunnah, and they'll act upon the Sunnah inwardly, outwardly. So how should one spend the 15th of Shaban? This is the month which is beloved to the Prophet ﷺ. It is his month of remembrance, a month of attaining closeness, a month before the month of mercy, and a countdown to the month of Ramadan. So, as we've heard many times, that this is a special month that people generally neglect. So this is the month of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on the 15th of Shaban, Allah Azza wa Jal descends the judgment of faith of all beings. Their names are added or taken off and on the books of the fortunate and unfortunate ones, the book of life to the book of death. So everything that's going to happen for the next year, it gets passed on to the angels. So even the angels don't know what's going to happen to us. So what happens is Allah sends the book for the full year, and in that full year, everything that's going to happen to you If you're gonna die, it's written in there. If you're gonna, get risk, whatever risk you're gonna get is written in there. So whatever's going to happen throughout the year, this is written. This day is a special occasion. Before their judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal makes an announcement to all beings. So whatever, for example, your previous year that you've done, that goes, and the coming year comes. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an opportunity for people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an opportunity for ones who've not rectified themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them an opportunity. So an announcement takes place. Does anyone wants to be forgiven? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the announcement. Does anyone want to be forgiven? Is there anyone going through hardships and want their problems to be lifted? So our announcement to all the people, to whatever they wish. So whoever wishes whatever they want, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes this announcement during the night. So the people have the opportunity to rectify throughout the year, the last year, what they have done. If they were lazy, they missed their amals. If they done anything wrong, if they committed a sin, whatever, they can, now is an opportunity. If they want something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then they can ask. So with any announcement, one should respond in the best of actions. So the Mashaykhs are saying that when such an announcement has been made, then one should respond with the best of actions. One should fast during the day and be submitted in worship at night. So one should worship at night. Don't think this day as any other day. Do you know what I mean? For example, everybody's got work. People go to work. That's fine. Yeah, people have other things. Yeah, but for example, when we were young and nights like this would come, then my parents would make it very special. In this night, they'd make sure that they didn't know that I'd know that this is Shabir Barat or Shabir Miraj, and they'll cook special food, nice food to eat, and they would all the TVs, everything will be shut. Nobody can watch TV. As we were kids as well, we're not allowed to watch TV during the night. And there's 2 times mostly that we wouldn't be allowed to watch TV. One was Fajr time, meaning in the morning. We have to first of all pick up the Quran and we have to pray something. We have to pray Surah Yasin or learn our sabak or whatever in the morning. And at Maghrib time, as soon as Maghrib time approaches, they turn the TV off. And special nights like this, they would make special food, make it different to any other night. And the next day, they would, any work or anything like this, they would make sure in advance that they would take that day off from work. They'd book it as a special holiday. And then throughout the night, they would worship, and then they would sleep. And then throughout the day they would worship. So they would make a big go of this. It wouldn't be like what we're doing today. Oh yeah, it's just another night. Yeah, I'll just do a little bit of zikr and then go to sleep. Oh yeah, I've got work in the morning, so I'm going to go work. So you're treating it like every other day. If this is every other day, then why is it such a special night and a special day? So we should make the effort to make it special. And you should let all your family members know that this is a special night, a special occasion. You should celebrate it in such a way. Look, what's such a night when, you can be forgiven, such a night where you can change the following year, whatever is going to happen to you. So it's a good opportunity, so you should make it special. So one should perform 2 rakats Salatul Tawbah, begging Allah's forgiveness for shortcomings for one has done in the past and seek forgiveness in the future with every breath. So this 2 rakats of Salatul Tawbah, 2 rakats of Salatul Shukr, thanking Allah for all the blessings of this life, and one can never be thankful enough. So Salatul Shukr is very, very important. If you thank Allah for whatever Allah has given you, Allah will bless you with more. If you're ungrateful to Allah, There's many times we might utter things, yeah, in ungratefulness without even knowing that we've been ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, sometimes when the food's put out on the table, you don't like it, you utter something, or something somebody gives you, or whatever you get. Sometimes that's ungratefulness. When you do this, then blessings disappear from you. 2 rakat Salatul Istikhara, beg Allah to guide us upon the life, as one is always in need of guidance. So, and 2 rakat Salatul Haja, prayer of need, one should beg Allah to keep us under the blessings of their rahmah and bestowing us what we are in need of and what is good for us, so we may die in the best state. So these are important, and this should be done every 24 hours, Salatul Tawbah, Shukr, Istikhara and Haja, because this is like a daily amal that a person should do. And then there's, after the prayers, there is 10 times Durood Sharif, 10 times La ilaha illallah, 10 times La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minal zalimeen, 10 times Astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi astaghfirullah la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh, 10 times Raditu billah rabba wa islam dina wa bi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam nabiyya, 10 times wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah, and 10 times Durood Sharif. So then how should one think? One should imagine the letter of his request is being sent to Allah Azza wa Jal. So for example, whatever he has, hajat or anything like this, he's writing a letter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you should imagine his letter is being sent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The request of forgiveness, thankfulness, guidance and helplessness. Beg forgiveness for all shortcomings in the remembrance of Allah. Imagine your hearts calling Allah as the blessed names of Allah is striking your body. So while you're doing these amals, imagine Allah's blessed names is striking your body, awaking your entire souls in the arms of Allah's remembrance. So your whole body, mind and heart, your soul is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine the blessed names of Allah flowing through your body, feeling the presence of Allah. So one is never alone. So you should feel the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So never leave this present, do not leave this night as only one night of worship in your life, but make it a beginning to start towards the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's saying that you shouldn't think that this is the only night that people do, they just worship on a special night. Rather, you should think that this is a start of one of the special nights. So every night should be special, but this is obviously extra special. But this is like a kickstart for you, you know. So you should think that, okay, inshallah, from tonight onwards, I'm going to try my best, and put more of an effort in my life in reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One should also try and perform 10 minutes of munajat, conversing with Allah, telling Allah one's problems and hardship he may be going through. See, munajat and meditation is very, very important for the person. Zikr, they mention, is like the food, and meditation is like the water. So both food and water is important for the person. Don't just do the zikr, do the meditation and speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When people do meditation, they tend to forget the focus of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning that the meditation is supposed to be, or munajat is supposed to be a focus with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, they focus on what can they see, what vision can they see. Rather, you shouldn't be focusing on that. Really focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your heart, converse with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala your problems. And we tell the whole world our problems. When we come across problems, we tell the next person, oh, what should I do, what should I do? We take the mashwara from the whole of the world, but we never even speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala our problems. And who will get rid of our problems? Not the people around the world, not the people that you see, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will get rid of your problems for you. So you should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first before. As soon as you get a problem, you should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, and then you ask the people, not the opposite way around. And what Some of the friends of Allah, they mentioned that if people do this the opposite way around, they'll be cut off from the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one should always ask Allah first before you ask anybody else. So he should talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the hardship he's going through, also seeking to eliminate the obstacles of one's disobedience in order to become closer to Allah. So asking Allah to help them remove whatever problems that the person is going through, so he can become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine the light of Allah's name washing your body, washing away all the hardships, clearing the path to see the closeness of the righteous path. So can you see how important the munajat is, that not only the light is coming and it's washing away, washing your body and washing away all your hardships as well. Every difficulty that you're facing is washing that away as well. And it's clearing the path to you so you can become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So run towards the kingdom of Allah who awaits your presence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is waiting for you. Those who run with their souls will be the ones who shall achieve the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The souls can only fly through purification. So the Mashaykh is saying, how can the souls run? They can only run through purification. Darkness is what drags the soul down. The grease of sin, the weight of disobedience, or like rocks of grease always dragging a person down. So they become lazy and non-responsive to the call of guidance. So what happens when the person wants to get closer to Allah, but because of his sins, they like grease and they become very heavy, and they like rocks of grease, and it drags the person down. That's why when you give guidance to somebody or when you call them towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they become lazy and non-responsive because of the sins that they're committing. Now, if the person's people got rid of the sin, then what would happen is automatically his iman would become stronger and stronger, and he'll become like a mountain that we mentioned earlier. So begin the flight towards Allah's kingdom. Those who fail to travel shall be left behind in darkness. So you either have a choice, you either travel to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you get left behind in darkness. They shall sink into the pits of hell, those who fail to purify. This is a clear message. This is not a joke or this is not a story, but it says the clear message is here that they shall sink to the pits of hell, those who fail to purify. They only enjoy for a short period until their lives have expired. So they'll only enjoy this life for a really short while until their lives have expired. Everybody's going to die, so you'd rather enjoy the hereafter than enjoy this life. But those who fly never wish to stop. They attain the closeness before death. So those who want to fly and they don't stop, no matter what happens to them, they might think, some people, they do their amals and stuff like this, amals, and they do the purification, but they don't feel closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They feel far away. But one person who thinks like this is going off his feelings, his state. He doesn't know whether he's closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. Only he will know at the time of his death whether he's closer to Allah or not. Not the time when he's in the world, when he's feeling good. Some people might get visions and certain things, and they think, because I'm getting this, I'm closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he might be farther away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Visions might have been given to him so that it can inspire him, encourage him to do his purification, to follow the sunnah, to become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's not happening for him, meaning he's not putting the effort in and he's just happy with whatever he sees. Then those people, they might think that they're closer, but they're deceived. They're deceived by whatever they see, visions or dreams or whatever. They're deceived by it. And while the person who follows the Mashaykh and they say, right, the Mashaykh told me I've got to do, for my purification, I have to do my amals, so I'm doing it. For my purification, I'm doing my sheets, so I'm doing it. for my purification, I'm doing this, I'm doing it. So the person, he does all this, but he still feels further away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the person who's successful. This is the person who's more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the person who goes off his feelings and visions and dreams. Why? Because obedience comes first before anything, before your feelings. We're not here to worship our feelings, our states, our dreams, our visions, but we're here to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the way the Mashaykhs have taught us to worship Allah, to become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that will always be number one. So that's why people let go of their amals and other things like this, their purification, because they feel, oh, I'm doing it, but I don't feel closer to Allah. What are you expecting? What are you expecting? You just do it, and that's all. Your job has been done. You do the job, and it's done. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything after that. For the seeker, death is a gift of meeting the Lord of all, Allah Azza wa Jal. So imagine a gift which is death. People think death is like, oh my word, death, we have to die. Oh, I'm not ready for it. When will you be ready? When you leave this world, it should be like you can't wait to leave this world. We should think that, I can't wait to be away from this world. This world is like a prison for the believers. This world is like a prison for the believer. It's not a place of enjoyment, it's a prison. So you should act as though you are in prison, and then the only way out of this prison is your death. So people should look forward to death, leaving this world. And imagine the friends of Allah, how they, desire to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had the option to stay in this world or be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then after that, then there's the zikr of the night, which is Allah Allah for 20 minutes. Then Radita Billah Rabba wa Islam Medina wa bi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 20 minutes. And then there's the amals which are written. Inshallah, we are planning to have some kind of, a gathering after Maghrib tonight. So if the brothers do attend Medina Masjid, St. George's Road, Bolton, Old Medina Masjid, then inshallah we'll give you some leaflets and we'll go through the amals in details. And if you don't understand anything, then you can do this. And if anybody wants, this on an email, inshallah, I can send you the email as well. So just contact anybody from Tariqa Mamdiya, any other brothers, and let them know, anybody that you know. And if you want this on email, inshallah, I can send you the email as well. So obviously there's many things to talk about, is sending the durood upon the Prophet ﷺ and how a person will get the closeness to the Prophet ﷺ as well. And for the brothers who are on the path, they should double their personal amals as well. So this is the Mashaykh's guidance, to double the personal amals. This is why I was saying that, you should treat this day as a special day. It's a special night and a special day, as though this is your night of worship. This is your night that you're going to, try your best as hard as you can. So the Mashaykh is saying, use this time well. This is not just a night of worship, but it is a new beginning to your lives, a new leaf, a new beginning to walk towards the Prophet ﷺ's closeness. Laylatul Bara is the beginning and an end to the chapter of your lives. A new chapter is made, so begin the path to closeness and end the path of evilness. So inshallah, that, and I just want to mention about people who won't be forgiven on this night as well. So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned for the first night of Ramadan, but I've heard the Mashaykh mention this on Laylatul Bara as well, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala casts a glance of mercy to the whole ummah and forgives them except for 4 types of people. So 4 types of people will not be forgiven on this night or even the first night of Ramadan. Number one, so we have to realize, we have to think, are we one of these? If we are, then we need to rectify this tonight as soon as possible throughout the day. Rectify it today before Maghrib time, and then start the night clean and free. Number one, a habitual sinner, somebody who sins on a regular basis. Not somebody, for example, he falls into the traps of sin and then he does repent. Habitual sinner is like somebody who's addicted. For example, he's addicted to drugs, alcohol, and he regularly, on a regular basis, he does this. But for example, if he's addicted but he tries his best to rectify, then he falls into the trap again. Not that person, the person who has no remorse of what he's doing and he carries on doing it. Number two, disobedience of parents. If they're unhappy, ask for forgiveness. If they are happy, then still ask for forgiveness. If you think there's nothing wrong with the parents, then even then ask for forgiveness, because the Mashaykh is saying that you might think that they're happy with you, but there might be something that you might have said that might have hurt their feelings that you're not even aware of. So asking forgiveness of your parents is important, and same with uncles, aunts, for anything that you have done to them, anything you might have said to them. Even, people just jokingly say certain things and you don't know, the other person's heart might hurt, you might have hurt their feelings. You don't know that, so ask for forgiveness. And same category of people that Mashaykh mentioned, their uncles, their aunts, they fall into the same category as well. So your uncles, your aunts, ask for forgiveness of them. Number three, see, when you ask for forgiveness, it's like people don't ask for forgiveness because they don't want to lower themselves. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Because the nafs is high. Oh, I'm not going towards him. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Because they don't want to humble themselves. When you humble yourself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise your status higher. So this is the difference. That's why humbleness, is the key. One of the keys to the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more the person is humble, the more Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises the person. But we don't want to humble. When we don't want to humble to the next person, we feel, I feel shy. It's not you feel shy. You don't want to, your nafs doesn't want to, be humble to the other person. You know what I mean? Because if you're humble, you think that you're lower than the person. Well, it's good to think you're lower than the person, because that's what's going to bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you think you're higher than the person, then he'll take you closer to the shaitan. And this is what happened to the shaitan, isn't it? He thought he was higher. So be humble and ask for forgiveness. Number three, the person who severs ties with blood relations. For example, for worldly reason, the person, or any other reason that the person has severed ties with blood relations. So he should try his best, maybe on this night, be humble and at least give him a phone call and say, look, whatever's happened in the past has happened. Can we start again? This and the other. You remember, this person, who does this for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him so much, his mind won't be able to comprehend. That's how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward this person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us so many opportunities for us to attain His closeness. It might not even be, for example, you might do your purification, you might do this, but this might be the thing that's stopping you reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This might be the only thing that's stopping you reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, cutting your ties with relations. So everything you might do is put into place, everything you might be doing right, but this might be the only thing. For some people it's only one thing, and the others, it might be a few things, but for others it might just only be one. So try your best from your part, you do it. whatever comes from the opposite direction, it doesn't matter. If they abuse you, if they shout at you, if they swear at you, it doesn't matter. At least you tried. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows you tried. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that you put the effort in for His pleasure. Don't worry about the outcome. For His pleasure, you say, Ya Allah, I'm doing this for your pleasure. I make the phone call or physically go and see them. And the easier way to soften people's heart is give some presents. Buy a present and give a gift. When you give a gift, automatically it softens people's hearts. And number 4, a person who bears grudges against another person for worldly terms. And that's the human nature. Something that somebody did 10 years ago, we still bear it in our heart. And if you get the opportunity for revenge, we would take it. That is the key factor, because as humans we do this. But if you've got anything in your heart, and you got a grudge against the other person, you don't need to tell him, but just rectify yourself, your inner self, and say that, okay, he did certain things to me, I wasn't happy about it, but I'm not bearing a grudge now. I forgive him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you forgive somebody for the sake of Allah, then don't go back you see, you've done it for Allah, so you've not done it for Him. Then don't, brother, you know what, you did this to me, but I forgive you, because I'm like this. You did it for Allah, you didn't do it for Him, so you don't need to remind Him time and time again. You don't need to tell Him, I forgive you for this, that, and the other. To do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and don't post on Facebook what you've done, or on our WhatsApp group. Keep these things hidden. The amals that are done, today's a day and age where Shaitan is playing, tricks on people. And the tricks is he's getting rid of the sincerity of the person. I think one of the Mashaykhs, or Imam Ghazali Rahimullah, I think they mentioned, or one of the friends of Allah, they mentioned that, when a person gives money, then he should give in such a way that his left hand doesn't know that his right hand has given the money towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that means that to keep it in such a hidden way that nobody knows about it. There's some things that people do for encouragement so that others can follow. For example, if you're going on a dawah mission, you want to encourage others to come with you, then you post it on social media to encourage people to come. Or if there's an event, you want people to come to the event, then you do it. But your personal things, whatever you've done, or today, alhamdulillah, woke up for tahajjud, and stay on taking pictures, woke up for tahajjud and stuff like this, then these personal things, you should keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody, your worship and everything. That's why they say that, for example, that you pray your faraz in the masjid, your faraid in the masjid, and your nawafils should be prayed at home. You get more reward. You get 27 times more reward for praying your nawafils at home and sunnahs at home. And the faraid namaz you pray in the masjid is the same. So the first namaz you pray in the masjid, you get 27 times the reward. And the sunnah that you pray and the nawafil that you pray at home, you get 27 times more reward at home. Because these worships are hidden, these things are hidden. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ask for forgiveness first from all the brothers who are watching here, all the brothers who are here, and all the brothers online. So ask for forgiveness for them. If I've said or done anything to hurt them, then please forgive me. And please remember each other in this blessed night tonight. Forgive each other and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible. And if you truly want to benefit, then follow the guidance that the Mashaykh give of what to do in this blessed night. And inshallah you will benefit loads. And inshallah make this night, if people have fallen, it doesn't matter how many years it's been, it doesn't really matter. Make a fresh start to purify yourself and to become closer and work on as much as possible to become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim.